Well, it's correct, with you people. Anansi here, and welcome back to X-Blaze. In the last one, kept on going through. I think we met a new character and kept on going through. Ooh, right. I forgot about this. I forgot about this room. So the Deadly Passage is named so because, as you can see, there is a one-hit kill. Um, so remember the odd jumping mechanics I told you about? Well, this is where you have to put them into practice. What you're going to do is you're going to don't tap forward and then jump. Like that. I'll admit, when I got to this point here, I was not certain what was going on. But yeah, this is an instant kill hallway. You're going to die if you're not paying attention. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about this hallway because I don't think you go through it very often. I think you maybe go through it like twice in the entire game, so I just completely forgot. And there you go, level over. Not a very long one, all things considered, but yeah, it's odd because every now and then it'll do these insta-kill moments, but it doesn't do them very often. Oh look, we're back in the ruins. You remember we were over here earlier? Well, now we gotta do the exact same thing again. So once again, just lock on, make sure you don't give these guys a chance to, activate their trap card. And yes, the pottery does respawn as you go back through areas, so bear that in mind as you're going about your business. Here. Got enough to do electric blades, so that should help increase the damage on these things, get them destroyed faster. See here. But yeah, so, and you pretty much see the main rest of the game, but you're going to be dealing with they're forming a bond. Quick, do not let them bond. There will be no bonding on my watch. Yeah, we're just doing the same thing. You're certain. So I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to be like this for every single mission. You will be revisiting areas as you go through the game, but it's not as often as the game would, as you would think with the game. I'm fairly certain that now, as you've seen that this happens, you probably have an idea of what to expect, but it actually is not what you expect at all. I won't say at all, but it's not what you would actually expect, all things considered. For the sheer fact that you do end up moving deeper into this world. Like if you go to if you're in an area, right, and you see some, I think they're like black and red clouds. I believe I showed them off when we first got here. I think if you go back, I think the second episode of the series, when we got here, you will probably see, you'll probably actually see the door we came in blocked off by the black smoke. Well, if you enter an area and you see a door, and you see like multiple ways out, and one of them is blocked with one of those demon shields. I know it's not the Ultimate Prime. That's the best explanation I have for how to explain that. Then that's how many times you will end up revisiting the area. So it's not as bad as you think. Heck, even sometimes you just come back through and there's no enemies at all. I remember that happened a couple of times. Not to say it's particularly for forgiving game. Not to say that it is a forgivable thing to do. I don't really encourage that. As a matter of fact, I'm of the firm belief that if you have to reuse a level, you probably should rethink how long you want your game to be, because as you can tell from the last episode, I believe, not a lot of story happens. Like we didn't get a lot of story for like a good little bit. And what story we did get, it amounted to like what, 2 cutscenes. It was like, yeah, like 2 cutscenes where not a lot happened. Like we had this one dude try to help us out. I believe his name is Jay. I want to say his name is Jay. And I think we've gotten far enough into like the bestiary in terms of like enemy encounters that I can actually read off some of the characters we've met and some of the enemies we've met, and it's not a lot to it. I usually read off of bestiaries in a lot of these games that I do for the channel, but it's like you can't reset the bestiary. I didn't want to spoil it, even though there's not much of a story to spoil. I still don't want to spoil what gets here, because I just want you guys to just kind of experience the just sheer averageness of the game, you know? So that way, some of you hopefully aspiring game developers will understand, you know, what not to do for your first outing in the industry. Because this was very clearly someone's first outing. It's like, yeah, we need something to sell, but we don't know how to sell it. Well, how about we do a bare basic story in Ascent City? It's like, okay, that works. And lo and behold, this game was warped. Yeah, we are just literally doing these guys something, so this is not something. And if you wonder, no, these orc destroying missions are not relegated to just this one area. We were about this up earlier, but it's like, most there's like maybe 2 more areas like that. Like this, so yeah, you got that to look forward to. Now, luckily, they don't recycle areas too very often. I want to say like if you've gone for like maybe 2 hours, you'll bump into like maybe 1 recycled area. Otherwise, you're fine. Come on, you guys. Alright, area clear. Let's go ahead and collect the spoils of war. Cannot see through the fire and the flames. Come on. Come on, you know you want to. There we go, finally got one. Yeah, the hitbox on these are not good. I forget, did they use the Unreal Engine on this game? I feel like this is an Unreal Engine kind of game. Like, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes you can kind of tell when a game uses when an engine gets used. You can kind of tell the quality of a game by the engine it uses. Like, for those of y'all who don't know or probably just don't care, a lot of times the Unreal Engine is used in a lot of these games, not even just AAA games, just in games in general. Because from my understanding of how the engine works, it's fairly cheap to license, and it works on everything. It is not. I don't think it's like it works on like. It works on it worked on the GameCube. It's pretty much if there's a system out. If there's a system out, odds are the Unreal Engine works on it. That's how ubiquitous it is. But I do not believe that it is optimized. That it can be optimized to get the full performance out of itself on any hardware. Like, it can play on any hardware, but it's not the best on any hardware. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if you played Sonic Unleashed, and I believe it was Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, I think and Sonic 06 of all things. I know. Give me a moment here. They used the Hedgehog engine, which and I believe it was Sonic 06 was the first use of it, and it wasn't a good showing. Then you looked at Sonic Unleashed and then Generations comes out, and those make excellent use of that engine. I believe Halo, with regards to 4 and onwards, used Blur. I believe, I forget what the engine was they used in the original trilogy of games. I want to say it was an in-house engine. Oh yeah, and yeah. Once again, when you get to areas like this, you actually can. No, didn't that? Nope, not trying to do that. Where is my earthquake? I'm gonna bind this to the right bumper because right now. But yeah, as you can see, you know, the way is open, so we can just keep going. But you don't want to miss out on souls. So I don't recommend it, but you have the option to do so. But yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like when you get engines that are specialized for the game they're working on, even if it is like a fairly cheap game, like something that's not going to last you very long, or maybe it's not something that's like of like AAA quality, you can at least be assured that the game itself is going to be decently well put together because the engine is optimized for that particular game. Like I was using Sonic Unleashed and Generation and whatnot. Those are some of the best looking games in the franchise, and probably some of the best playing games too. And they used the hedgehog game, which unfortunately I think that discontinued after, like, I want to say after Colors. I want to say after Colors, I don't really remember. And then you got games like, I believe Call of Duty uses an in-house engine as well, and they're pretty good with it too. So it's just one of those things that's like I've picked up over the years just playing games.
Go away! This isn't your battle! Get out of here!
Huh? What next?
I see you managed to escape from the trap with the help of this troublesome boy. That's fine. I have a lot of other ways to kill a human. Yes. Perfect. Unleash your fury. Let it destroy you from within.
The dark power.
It's a pity. I'll have to kill you on my own.
Yes, so much for that. This is not my fight situation. So, in another boss fight with a purple lion this time, who you have to be careful because he'll still summon these wind gusts that make it very hard to get anywhere, and I am trapped now. So just bear that in mind. Every now and then he'll summon like these dark hurricanes.
I'm impressed. I wonder where a frail thing like yourself learned moves like these.
You don't know him.
Filthy mortal. I will be laughing over your crumpled body soon enough.
So yeah, we're dealing with the purple lion who is called the Dark. I'm not even making that up.
For only a few miserable moments, while I hold eternity in my hands. Why are you resisting the inevitable?
Because I'm looking for treasure. Give me a minute, sir. Use skills available in the shop. And I believe the Jay here is making use of his light abilities. So okay, so let's see what we got here. Anything I can get? I care to grab? Not really. Nope, not gonna worry about that. So I want to go ahead. I don't usually do this. I want to go ahead and show this off. You guys might think I'm making up his name being the Dark, but I'm not. So we have So yeah, so you kind of see this is a bit of a spoiler, so you have to go back down all the way to the bottom. So yes, the crystals are also considered enemies. We got the red crystal, you know, Sundrays contains life. Then we got a Pango, fidgety and always hungry. So I'll get around to these small enemies in a little bit. But since we're here, so we have the light. As the severe feature suggests, the light is a powerful creature. He guards the artifact of the dark, although no one knows why. Being a master of magic, the light attacks using very powerful spells. A ray of light launched by him, for example, knocks down his target and does severe damage. As with many magicians, the light tries to avoid close quarters combat, although his massive claws can deliver serious injury if necessary. Only his vulnerability to dark magic and fire allows one to survive a battle with him. Then we have Jay. Jay is another traveler hunter that Yumi meets on the island. He saves her from a deadly trap, unsuccessfully tries to remove her curse, and takes part in a fight against the dark. This young hero is quite skilled for his age. He attacks with a powerful explosion of light, and his punches are brutal. And then the dark. It's literally just a reskin. They guard the island where the artifact of light is hidden, so that tells you what you're looking for. The most powerful offensive spell can take away only a small part of the dark's energy, though a heavy strike of one's blades can break through its defenses and cripple him. Of course, nobody's ever tried this and lived to tell about it. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on here. You pretty much have to be engaged in the melee combat. And yeah, just kind of go from there. So this is. I remember when I first got to this part, I'm like, is this just the fight with that light lion,
would make a pretty
but
fur
recolored? And the answer is yes. This is just a recolor.
Say farewell to your miserable life.
Anyone else? Yes, thanks. Go ahead and recharge.
He was not even worthy of recognition. My power is far superior to his.
Well, at least he was nicer than you are.
And we see Yumi chatting it up about the light who sent her over here. So yeah, there is some continuity. Just it is. I mean, you're literally just doing the same fight again. He's summoning bigger mooks that are, going to be a little bit hard to deal with.
Do you know what sets us apart? I love my job.
Okay, Yumi, just keep making the one-liners. One of these will land eventually. So as we read there with his bio, you're supposed to just attack him.
Can't destroy me.
You have to just attack with your blades. Magic doesn't do much against him, whereas for light, you have to use dark and fire magic, which is odd that they would call out dark magic because you cannot unlock dark magic in that fight.
I could, but I think I'm going to prefer just destroying you instead.
Like, I'm not making that up. You cannot use dark magic in that fight, so I don't know why they call it out as you do. Maybe just to kind of telegraph that this guy is here on the island, but it's just one of those things that's like, why do it? Like, what was the point? And yes, this is a pretty long boss fight too.
Can't destroy me.
Just for the sheer fact that he does not go down very easily. I recommend having elemental blade
Don't
attack.
even try. You want me to give you a moment to catch your breath? You really should take some anger management classes.
It's already having a hard time, so. So yeah, I just recommend making use of your elemental blade weapon attacks. And I believe you need to get Jay next to him so that he can do damage to
Say
you.
farewell to your miserable life.
So yeah, that's basically it. So, but yeah, this is just a recover fight. He does basically the same thing. His only real special move of note is that he, summons that giant F-on Hurricane. But otherwise, it's the exact same thing. Dark attack instead of light attack. And then he does 2 slices to his claws. Go ahead and drop it.
You are a cheeky little thing,
Not a very imaginative start of a conversation.
but it will be your last one.
He got a dark ball off on me and does serious damage. Yes, I'm playing Ring Runner and then you get my health back. Oh man, but yeah, this is what it boils down to you when you're on pro mode. Well, not even pro mode, you just have the feel good armor on. You're Jerry health, why take the risk? Still a better game than the Devil May Cry 2. This actually does remind me a lot of Devil May Cry 2. Never fully beat that game. I beat the Dante mission, the Dante side of the story on there. I never beat the Lucia? Is it Lucia or is it Lucia? I honestly forget what her name is. But I never did her side of the story on the game. I might end up doing that one day. But I would argue that this is a lot more engaging than that game is, because at least with this game, you can, even though the combos are not deep at all, it's literally just hit X, occasionally shoot. There's nothing really going on when it comes to
You want me
shooting.
to give you a moment to catch your breath.
And the main character doesn't have a lot of could be voice lines to make her endearing. She's just trying to be endearing. And you can very clear that the developers had one very specific thing in mind when designing your character, and it wasn't depth of doing with the character.
You would make a pretty fur coat.
But yeah, no, I would argue that I would definitely play this. I would definitely play the over Devil May Cry 2. Anything for that, because I mean, yeah, it's kind of samey, but at the very least, the enemies aren't just bullet sponges, and they are aggressive enough that that even if you did use the gun mode at safe distance.
This seems so familiar. Have we met before?
Trust me, if we had, you would have remembered it.
I would have remembered this unique humor.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's like I would play. It's kind of weird, right? This is a game that, and I said it a couple times, it really isn't that good. I'm just playing it because, I think it would just be fun to play a bad game for the chance to kind of see how it ages a bit, as well as kind of show off like a game that I think had potential, or has potential, with a couple of sequels that could have been a great franchise. Sure, Ayumi's first outing would definitely get her ridiculed, and nowadays her default outfit would not fly in today's climate. I would say the feel good armor is probably a better look for her if they want to go with something alluring to, or at least eye catching. But I mostly do it because I want to. Oh, and Jay healed us. Nice. I forget that he does that. I mostly do it because I want to show off that. What's the difference between an average game that you can play but you're not missing out of, and a bad game that you would try to justify? Like, when I first got into Devil May Cry, I got into Devil May Cry 4. A friend of mine had shown me the game at friend's house, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool, and I went off and got it, and I was in luck because the Devil May Cry collection had just come out. So I grabbed all 3 games for the 360, and I'm like, okay, let's play through this. The first game was like, okay, this came out like what, late 90s, like very late 90s, maybe early 2000s. It was a PlayStation game to start off with, I believe. So yeah, I could forgive some of the design errors, or not design errors, some of the design quirks that the game had, because you know, just getting a feel for it. It's a far cry from what I saw before. Well, okay, I can wait to play 2. Then I play 2, I'm like, what the heck happened? I mean, it's like you have a sword that has even less combos, or not even necessarily, they have more combos than an enemy does, but they just don't feel satisfying to use. And then you have, nice. And then you have, guns that basically win the game. Sure, Yumi's pistols are pretty good, and you can use them to pretty much decimate most of the basic enemies, but some of the bigger enemies you have to, you know, mix up a little bit.
Stand no chance.
Do you keep talking to distract yourself from losing, or
And some of the bosses are outright immune to it, like the that fire-breathing lizard tank thing, turtle lizard tank thing we fought earlier. That you just can't shoot at that. You have to use fireballs and whatnot. So they had decent balancing in mind for the game. There's definitely an effort there to make something that was, you know, I would argue, at the very least worth checking out. It's just that it needed more time to cook in terms of the melee combat. I feel like the melee combat is the melee combat in the story. They're both just not there. I mean, because they had an idea in mind for combos. Like, you do unlock combos in the game. Something that definitely not saying to my bullets and bouncing off of. So you just can't use bullets to win this fight. So I mean, I'll give them credit for that, but it's like it needed a little bit more time to cook, and it makes me wonder if this game was designed. If it's like the design of the game came together like the last minute, you know? Because the architecture is well, while basic, it is nice. I'm not gonna deny that. It's like I feel very like Prince of Persia in terms of like the architectural design.
Most impressive.
And
Stronger than I first imagined.
you'll find that I am more than meets the eye.
the Transformer, nice. And the story is basic, and the characters are basic, but I mean, it's like, if they had more time to flesh it out, we could have gotten some depth here. Like, we still don't know what a Yumi's deal is, and we don't know what Jay's deal is right now. So they just don't interact enough for there to be.
You can't destroy me.
Like, what cutscenes are there are more or less designed to be cool and mysterious, but without the substance that goes into making it cool and mysterious. Like, you feel me? Come on, can we kill him? Can we kill him? A little bit, I think it's like 1 or 2 shots away from dying. Come on now.
Cower in fear, for your end is at hand. The light always overcomes the dark. Your time is over.
Wait!
And the voice acting could be way better, especially with Jay. Like, Yumi's voice actress, she does a good job with what she's given, and I'm sure that she's gone on to bigger and better things. But Jay's voice actor, oh Lord, it feels like it was the son of like the company president or the lead designer. That's what it feels like sometimes. Where are we at right now? 10,000? Can I afford anything now? Nope, not yet. I mean, yeah, but it's nothing I really want to get at the moment. I want to hold off for as long as possible. I want to get the lightning abilities more than anything else. Is there anything else I missed? No? Well, in that case, we're going to fall apart here. I've been Anansi. You've been awesome. And I'll catch you later. We got everything. Nice.